Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to focus on 6 rules that you should know when learning French. Even better, before learning French. Let's start right away with the gender of nouns. This is probably the biggest issue for French learners. Every single noun in French is either feminine or masculine. Some people really struggle to understand why washing machine is feminine and telephone is masculine, but it's just the way it is. So here are a few tips for you to know the gender of noun. First, you should always study nouns with an article to know the gender. The article is different for masculine and feminine. So if you study the noun with its article, you can't be wrong. For example, un café, une idée. So the article here, un for masculine, une for feminine. Un café, une idée. If you only study café and idée, you don't know the gender. So always study nouns with an article, okay? Un café, masculine, une idée, féminine. The second tip I have for you for gender of noun is to follow the easy rule of the final E. 80% of French nouns ending in E are feminine. 80% is better than nothing, but not perfect. The most common French nouns don't really follow this rule. Un téléphone, a phone, ends with E, but is masculine. Une souris, a mouse, ends with S, but it's feminine. So make sure to always study the gender of the noun when you learn vocabulary. Learn it at the same time and you only have to learn it once. And finally, the last tip for gender of noun is to use Lingopie, the sponsor of this video. If you don't know what Lingopie is an innovative language learning platform that combines entertainment and education. With Lingopie, you can watch TV shows, movies, and documentary in your target language. And that's when it gets interesting here. You can use the interactive subtitles to learn more about the word, including the noun and its gender. If you click on a noun, you will see its gender and the type of word it is. You can repeat its pronunciation as many times as you want, and then after the movie or the TV show, you can review the vocabulary with the flashcards. It's perfect to really make your practice count. Personally, my recommendation this time is Camelot. They have 100 episodes, I believe. It's a very long TV show in French, but they are only 3 minutes. So 3 minutes, you really have the time to focus on all the nouns, the gender, sentence structure, and everything. 3 minutes is really perfect. So you can try Lingopie for free for 7 days and get 70% off the lifetime subscription with my link in the description box. They add new content all the time, so you will never get bored. Thank you again to Lingopie for sponsoring this part of the video. Now the second rule is all about articles in French. An article is in English the, a, un, some. In French they are le, la, les, un, une, des, du, de la, des, etc. The difference between French and English is that French use an article 99% of the time before a noun. Let's see. La France est un beau pays. La France est un beau pays. In English, France is a beautiful country. France is a beautiful country. Okay? So we don't say the France. While in French, we do say la France. Okay? It is something that confuses a lot of you. So remember, 99% of the time, add an article. I would say just add an article all the time, and you will be very rarely wrong. For third rule, we are adding adjectives into the mix. This rule is all about adjectives, articles, and nouns. Let's see an example before I explain it to you. Une couleur blanche. Une couleur blanche. Un mur blanc. Un mur blanc. As you can see, the article and the adjective change around the noun. It's because they agree in gender and number with the noun. The noun couleur, for example, is feminine. So the article is also feminine and the adjective is feminine as well. Mur is masculine. So everything around it is going to be masculine. Like I said, remember to always learn the gender of nouns, since it's quite important even for the rest of the sentence, as you can see. Now we jump into pronunciation with silent letters, liaisons, and sounds. Pronunciation in French is quite surprising because we speak by sound. If we look at a word that we have in English and in French, for example, une orange, orange. The two letters A, N make the sound en, orange. We don't read every letter of the word in French, but we have a lot of sounds. For example, ER at the end of verbs make the sound E. Aller, aller, c'est aller, aller, okay? So that's for the sounds. French also use liaison. A liaison is a link that we add between two words to make the pronunciation easier, to have a better flow, basically. Un incroyable voyage, un incroyable voyage, an incredible trip. You have the same in English, an incredible, okay? Un incroyable voyage. The children, les enfants. Les enfants, okay? We have required, optional, and forbidden liaison in French. That will be quite long to explain it to you here, but I will have 3 videos linked for you in the description box. Finally, French also has silent letters. If we look at the same example as we saw before, un incroyable voyage, here both E are silent. Les enfants, the children, T and S at the end of enfant are silent as well. Spoken French and written French are like two different languages. So it's very important to know everything about pronunciation so you can really understand how words are built and how they affect pronunciation. For the 5th rule, we are going to talk about pronouns, and we have 3 different sets of pronouns that we are going to see now. The first one are tu and vous. They both translate to you in English, but tu is casual while vous is formal. Vous can also be plural. So, if we look at a couple of examples, tu es en retard, casual for one person. Vous êtes en retard, formal for one person. Vous êtes en retard, formal or casual for multiple people. Okay? This one is always hard to grasp, but with a little bit of practice, it'll be fine. The second set of pronouns is on and nous. They both translate to we. On is casual and nous is a little bit more formal. On est en retard, nous sommes en retard. Both of them translate to we are late, okay? On still represents multiple people even though it's conjugated like a singular pronoun. On is simply more casual. Usually in spoken French we're going to use on, while in written French we're going to use nous. The last set of pronouns are il and elle. In French we don't have they for both, we make the distinctions. Elle can only be used for a group of women. If there is one man in the group, it becomes il. So all men, ils sont arrivés. All women, elles sont arrivées. Women and men, ils sont arrivés. Okay? And the last rule is all about être and avoir. Être, to be, and avoir, to have, are the 2 most common French verbs. They're used as verbs, auxiliaries, and in many expressions. So as verbs, we have être, tu es en retard, you are late. So same as in English. Avoir, j'ai 2 €, I have 2 €. Same as in English. They can also be used as auxiliaries when the verb is conjugated in the compound tense. So a tense made from an auxiliary and a past participle such as passé composé. Être, je suis arrivé. Avoir, j'ai mangé une pomme. Okay? But the main difference is in expressions. We use them differently as in English, especially for avoir. To say I am hungry, we are going to say j'ai faim, not je suis faim. J'ai faim. So we say I have hunger, basically. So that's a big difference. And since they're the most common verb and most common expressions, you really have to know them by heart. I will have a couple of links below to a page on my website for the conjugation, different use and expression. You can learn everything about them because, like I said, very important to know them. And that's it. If you know these 6 rules, French will be much easier for you. As I said, I will have all the links, playlists, videos, and everything in the description box. If you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. If there's another rule that you would like to share, please do it in the comments for everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Lingopie for sponsoring this video. I will see you next Wednesday for a new lesson. À mercredi prochain.